Hey everyone, and welcome. We are starting our second ever town hall for the World Crypto Network. There's a lot of stuff going on. We're joined by a lot of people today. I think we should introduce ourselves to start the show or the meeting, and then we've got an agenda that's all on GitHub. I'm going to be our tyrant today. My name is Derek J. I'll pass the crown to the next person next week. But let's get started with Thomas, and then we'll go down the line.
Hello. What, more than that? Go down the line to Will.
Yeah, David.
Will just got here. What kind
David Gilson is here.
of hat does Will have?
Hi, everyone. Hi.
Hello, Jay. Your icon is really small. Can you tell me? Can you introduce yourself?
Hello.
Never mind. Nick.
Jan
Go ahead,
Irving.
introduce yourself.
There we go. Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Nick, Pi Rebel.
Very good. We got Chris Ellis.
Hello. Yes, I'm probably going to announce that we're at block height 315,651, and you can see the Merkle route there, E7CF67. That's an incredible Merkle route.
Yeah, thanks for doing that, Thomas. You know, it was an oversight of mine to not do a screen share and announce that at the beginning. But that is a good practice. We're going to try and announce the block height at the beginning of every episode. And then finally we have Will over here. Will,
Hi, everybody.
say hello. And then the last fellow who we didn't get an introduction from, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I think that's you, Jan.
And it just so happens my phone is ringing, so I'm like panicking trying to figure out where the dang thing is. Hi, I'm Jan Irvin, Gnostic Media.
Hey, Jan. Thanks for being here. All right, so points to discuss this week. First of all, the World Crypto Network schedule. We've got a calendar here. I'm going to do a screen share. Make sure that your shows are on this schedule. If they're not, speak up so we can add it.
Yeah, so down below, so this is a copy of the schedule that we're talking about today, but if you look in the description below, we've also copied the same text in there. It's written in Markdown, and you can just click on the links and you can take part as we go through it.
Oh yeah, all the agenda here is on GitHub, right? So
It's on GitHub and in the notes below the show as well.
right, very good. So is everyone's show on this schedule?
I think the only one that's missing at the moment is Mad Bitcoins. And the idea behind having that document is that we can start to get a sense of how much we want to fill it up. Like that should just be chocker in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks time. We should just be filling that board up, and it should just be back to back. The reason I did it, so there are two things. I created this document. There are reasons why I chose UTC. It's because I spoke to Jamie, and Jamie was like, well, look, let's just from now on do things in UTC to avoid any doubt whatsoever as to what time things are. I know that's not convenient for you Americans and Australians, but in Europe we're much more used to doing it. So we'll use that for now until we have something better. And then the reason I blocked it out in terms of morning, evening, and afternoon is that often our shows are very meandering and long, and I just wanted to clear enough buffer space either side of a show. Like if mine runs over too long, you know, I would just say, okay, Chris Before Coffee has like all of the Wednesday afternoon in UTC time, but you know, Mad Bitcoins can have all of the morning in the Monday. It's not as if we're bursting at the seams anyway in terms of content. So for now, I think it's okay. And then let's start to see how things fill up. We had a comment last week as we were on air from somebody in Australia saying that, you know, we need to do more for their time zone. So that would be cool.
Okay, great point. And what time would that be for Australia? Would that be morning UTC?
Let me just double check with worldtimebuddy.com, one of my favorite websites at the moment. Let me get rid of GMT. Well, so give me a name of Sydney, that'll do it.
Yeah, it would seem to me that if, I don't know.
So 11 p.m. UK UTC is 9 a.m. in Sydney. So right
Okay,
now
so,
it's 9
so they
a.m.
want more stuff. They want more stuff late night.
Yeah, I guess so.
Cool, and then that would be daytime for them?
Yes, the morning.
All right, very good. Late night should be a lot easier to do than morning for most of us.
It would be good if we
Terrific.
could get somebody
Okay.
from Australasia as well. It'd be good if we could get anyone like who's watching this as an audience member. If you're in that part of the world, we'd love to hear from you. I did hear back from Fra Louis, who couldn't make it last week. He tried, but he couldn't get on. And he said he was thinking of doing a show for WCN, so that would be really cool.
Excellent. Okay, good. So right now everyone's show is on there except for Mad Bitcoins. We could fill up some more spaces in the evening, late night shows, and that would be good for Australia, or get some Australian hosts and shows. That would be even better.
And remember, you don't
Very good.
necessarily
Anything else anyone wants to add to the schedule?
you don't necessarily have to have a new show idea. You can take a show like Bitcoin Talk Show. You can get a Google Voice account. You can get a Skype account, and you can pretty much host your own franchised version of Bitcoin Talk Show in your time zone.
Yeah, also, speaking of Bitcoin Talk Show, I'm more than willing to hand out the passwords to credible individuals who want to take the show on, like, you know, if you're doing basically the same idea of people calling in and talking about Bitcoin stuff, you might benefit from keeping the same brand. We've already got a Skype list of people who tune into the show, and already got a call-in number that works internationally, so, you know.
You just need some practice and the ability to fill time and to have a bunch of stories and just to kind of have a list of things to go back to and just to fill the time. And if you're interested in this type of work, and again, it's totally unpaid work. You need your own donation information to bring with you that you'll accept. That's your business. So.
Yeah, but I feel like that would be the only thing that someone would really need is a QR code of their own for a screen so that they could be donated to, because everything else can just be transferred with a Google Plus account. You know, like all the show material, ideas, topics, and stuff. But I'm willing to share all that, or people can go and create their own.
And people can shoot trial shows. They can do their own shows on their own channels. We can see how they go. Sometimes it takes maybe 10 shows for someone to get really good at it or to get decent at it, to practice. You have to practice to get better. Just that. And this comes back to the whole what we talked about last week. We're not sure yet how exactly to get new people on. Chris, do we have something in the agenda about that, or what are we on the
No,
agenda?
but I was going to bring it up as part of this one, so it's good that you have. I was thinking we've got World Crypto Network 2 already, which I bagged. So what we could have is a second channel just for people who want to get votes to get on the main network. So you have like an A team and a B team. And then the B team, like, we could actually create little starter kits that help you set up a Patreon page, you know, tell you how to set up a Bitcoin wallet safely, and, you know, things like that. We can actually bootstrap people.
Guys, do you think it actually might make sense to do the same thing for the sort of fun and help show that we've been talking about as well?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yes, I support that. Are you talking about running a show like that, David?
Yeah, it's something I'm interested in doing, but also Theo's said he's interested in doing it, so it looks like someone's going to do it.
Very cool. Great.
I mean, it'd
would
be
look
nice
forward
if,
to
like,
that.
maybe he and I and someone else can share it out, so it doesn't always have to be the same person manning the phone.
Yeah. Would you be interested in doing that late night?
Possibly, yes.
Yeah,
Well, it's
and
late night
also-
for you, though.
It's also great that if people can team up, if you can find someone to partner up with so you can go back and forth, just having a second person to talk to can make all the difference in making a hangout more listenable.
Yeah.
Oh, it sure does. Okay, other thoughts on network schedule before we move on? Hearing none. Moving on to point number 2. Show promotion in one another's shows. This idea was suggested by Nick. I, for one, will volunteer to promote every other show on the World Crypto Network during my show. I'll be mentioning what else is available. It would be helpful if there were some promo ad that could be played. So I encourage you to create your own ad so that I can play it. You know, makes it a lot easier. We could all come up with ads for other people's shows, but it's going to be better if you make your own.
Well, it's funny you say that, because earlier today Tom and I actually did that, and if Tom wouldn't mind playing it for World Crypto Book Club, I'm sure everybody would like to see it.
I sure would. In fact, I order it. Tom, play that clip.
See, the libertarians take to this dictator role like instantly. Let's see. Hide the warning. No, show the warning. No, hide the warning. All right. The sky above the port was the color of television, tuned to a dead channel. Enter into the new cyberpunk reality with mad bitcoins and Pi Rebel as we delve into the roots of cryptocurrency by exploring the books, writings, or whatever. Define the genre with the World Crypto Network Book Club.
Jump into the cyberpunk reality with your hosts, Mad Bitcoins, and me, Pi Rebel, a book club for the post-Bitcoin world where we'll explore the minds of prophets you've never heard of and discuss their books and how they relate to our current times. World Crypto Network Book Club.
What books might we be reading in the future? Neuromancer, Ready Player One.
Dune, Snow Crash, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
From the metaverse to the universe, nowhere is safe.
There
From
you
the
go.
World Crypto Network Book Club.
That's the right thing, but thankfully this is going to be edited. We're not just going to be like, here's our commercial, fools.
The end is the best.
Bravo.
Brilliant.
That was wonderful.
So,
Okay, so you could all have something like that.
and let's all how did we do that? Well, we had a Google Hangout on a non-popular channel, so no one really saw it. And we had a script, right? So we read the script a couple of times, different versions of the script, and then we stopped it. Then we downloaded it with a YouTube downloader. Then we made it private, so now no one can see it. And then I edited it in iMovie, and then now it's a commercial, and you upload it back to YouTube. So anyone can do that with Google Hangout. You can use that to capture the audio and the video for you. So.
Yeah, or if you want to make it really easy and just cut the editing, read a script, prepare a script, record
Do
it.
it live. Do it live.
Yeah, that's what I would recommend. That's what I'll be doing. So yeah, how shall we share that with one another? Maybe let's share these with each other next week when we're on the
It
show.
doesn't even have to be a video. It could just be a screenshot. It could just be like a poster or something, and then you just read something out. And I also think we should make it fairly systematic, just so that everyone gets like an equal share of the promo. So that because how are we going to decide on what order to go in and stuff like? Is that worth doing?
Deciding on a particular order to display the ads?
Well, because like if just to make sure that everyone gets equal coverage is what I mean.
Why?
How well, I don't know. I'm just suggesting.
Well, let's
I'm not
get
for equal coverage.
that report.
Get
the ads first, and then
Are we only promoting the ones that we like, or is what?
Yes,
what is there
I want to be biased towards the ones that are better.
Okay.
I'm okay with that too. I think that's a good idea. Somebody should play the ads for the shows they like and they want to promote.
Sounds fair.
Guys, I've just shared a web page up on my video stream. It's a source of music that we can use legally. Well, several different sources. So it's like Creative Commons music. So we could have some sort of really dramatic music. So, in a world where fiat currencies are no longer wanted. Dun dun dun.
I love it.
Something like that.
I'll have that one.
Very good.
Yeah,
Okay,
share that. That's a good resource.
So that's the goal. By next week, you all must have some kind of ad, a picture, a graphic, some paragraph written out, or a video. The better ads are going to get shown more often, so make yours good. All right, number 3. World Crypto Network website proposal from Chris McGreedy. It looks awesome. Introduction to World Crypto Trello Board. Sign up if you have time or suggest your own. So let's take this one step at a time. Website proposal. Let's take a look.
Okay. So Chris is saying that he's asked me for the invite again, and I've sent it to him. Should we start with the Trello first and see if he can come online for his one? So
Absolutely.
Let me just get Trello up.
Thank you.
So is everyone familiar with Trello?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyone not familiar with Trello? Okay then. So yeah, it's here. This is the World Crypto Network that I created, but I haven't done anything yet because I didn't want to be a tyrant and just like, go ahead and do that. So I guess I can invite everyone. I've just sent Derek J a CSV file of like everyone's email. The reason why I've been sending out a BCC email to everyone is because that's what, well, Tom was doing it before me, and because I guess we didn't know if everyone was happy having everybody else's email address. So if nobody disagrees, I think, Derek, you've created a circle, and then that means we can all communicate via Google+. And
Yes.
then just, yeah, if people don't mind, I can just start adding you guys to the members list. I can just start adding people here. But I didn't want to spam people, because obviously if I put your email address on here, then it will know you. It will have you in a database that they could then market to you. So I don't want to just presume to start putting people's email addresses in there. So I tell you what I'll do then is I'll email everyone after this saying, please send me the email you prefer that I use for Trello. How about that?
Very good. And we're joined by Chris. Hello, Chris. Welcome.
Hello. I'm muted at the moment, I believe.
No, that's good. We can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Great. Excellent. Good evening.
Good evening. Your head's cut off, though.
Is it? Oh, God. How's that?
Yeah. That's a bit better. A bit higher.
How's that?
Yeah,
oh,
that's
yeah, I
great.
can see me.
Great.
Excellent.
Welcome.
Okay, cool.
We're talking about the Trello board, and
Okay.
we were asking about the website proposal.
Yeah, so I just did a few basic things. I've only been spent a couple of hours on it, so where has it gone? So it's not complete by any means, but it's just my initial thoughts. So I basically spent this week watching every one of your videos. It's quite good. It's quite enlightening. No. Okay. So yeah, so I spent this week just watching all the videos, and I kind of got a feel of what you want to do and what you want to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you just need to make the website really, really simple. One screen with the current video that's playing, and then just information on the show schedules and the hosts. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that.
I agree.
Should we get the sketches up? I've got it in my... Oh yeah, I've got it in my window here. I can just share that out. One sec.
I think one of the most difficult things when you go to a lot of these podcast websites is that they have so many ads and things all over that you can't navigate your way.
Absolutely. I
Wasn't
put a
there
couple of
something
examples of a couple of the decent ones into the initial doc.
Oh, the thing that we were thinking about before was having a forum, and I don't necessarily know whether that's a good idea.
No, it is not.
Is there a way to just take the code from the subreddit and have that show on one of the pages of the site?
Absolutely. We can do that, or we can use... I'm a big fan of a program called Discuss, which does the same. It basically gives you a forum for every individual page. Something like that's definitely the way to do it.
Yeah, managing your own forum is a lot of work. I know I ran one for 6 or 7 years. It's a job.
And just look on Bitcoin Talk. Forums do tend to become cesspools.
Yeah.
The Reddit is a lot like a forum, from my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't disagree.
But the problem with the Reddit is that well, no. I think the only problem is not everyone's into it, right? Not everyone kind of gets it, and so as a result, it tends to exclude people. We just want to make sure.
We can't keep living in the 90s. I mean, a forum is not going to work.
No, definitely. I agree.
People need to learn how to use Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we could get a BBS. You know,
That's what I was just gonna say, Tom. Great minds, buddy. Great minds.
I own licenses for that software. I'm sure we could hook that up.
What is that?
Bulletin board service with modems, and everyone could dial in. We could get
sweet. Yeah.
lines here at the house. Everyone could dial in at the same time to my computer.
I've got modems. I'm in.
So about this website, can we have a look?
Yeah. Let me just.
I believe there was a screen share thing going on for a second. I'd like to see more of that.
Yeah, there's this. Well, the links in the below in the description.
Yeah, there it is. It's up on mine as well.
And yeah, so I think Chris, you're saying that this is still very basic. But
It's just my first pass at it. It's nowhere near a specification document yet.
Yeah. And,
but it's nice to be able to get a clue as to what's going on in your mind?
So my perfect example is, I don't know if you know of I put him into the document, a person called PewDiePie. He's the most watched man on YouTube. And he's just took his YouTube account and took it to his own website, and he's done it extremely well. He's done a very good job of it. And it's basically the blueprint for what you want to do, I think. And he's 5.5 billion views. If you get that, I imagine you'll be happy.
Yeah, can we have a look at that? What's his website look like?
PewDiePie.net. Shall I bring that up?
Oh,
I've got it coming up on my screenshot.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, I see it. Yeah, I can imagine this is exactly what we're looking for, with a big image at the top where people can jump right into the latest show. If it's live, they can see past shows. Yep, this looks very good. So this is the model that you'd like
20 million from YouTube this year, apparently, in ad revenue.
Okay.
What do we think about, as well, because we're quite like an activist group, giving people a call to action that actually, rather than just being passive consumers, there should be a way for people to get involved as well. Like you're here not just to watch and consume and be entertained, but also to be inspired to eventually have your own show and get your own point of view across. Is that worth?
Absolutely, yes.
It
could be something as simple as a tab that says like what you see? Want to have your own show? Like, here's how to get started with that.
Well, and it seems like this PewDie or PewDiePie, whatever, has a section here at the bottom for other stuff. So you could just put a join the network, like when you scroll to the bottom.
Yeah, he has a terrific amount of fan art. People are always drawing. Every time he puts a show up, people just like animate the show and draw all the things he's done. So he gets lots and lots of engagement that way.
Yeah, fan art page on my screen.
That's great.
We should put out a call for that. Any artists that want to do work for us, we'd of course put it up, and like we do with Philippe, puts up some stuff. I don't know if this is. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, if you've seen Philippe's latest one.
And BTC Art Gallery as well, Dustin.
Yep, BTC Art Gallery.
Just to be clear, I'm still sharing my screen. That's not me.
Okay, well, I think we've got an idea for where the website is going, and I think we all agree that that's the right direction.
I think there's one key takeaway to take away from it. The one thing that I would really say you strongly have to do is to separate the two websites. I made that quite clear in the document. You've got your broadcasting one, and then you've got the community outreach one. They send in the Bitcoin hardware to all over the world. I think you need to. They're too diffused to have them in one website. I think you need to. You can have them under the one banner, but I think they have to be two separate websites, built separately, and done in a completely different way. I think it's too much to have them both on one website. I don't think people will get it.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so the decentralized, I like this idea of having like a decentral set of tasks and projects, because then the decentralized world becomes a WCN project, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And also you're saying, you've sent me a quote as well for this work, which is, I mean, it's just astronomically low. I don't think you can get much lower than 0. And I'm not even sure that Bitcoin Protocol allows.
That was just to show the timelines. I can put some money on it if you want. You can pay me something if you want, but we can keep it free if you want. Your choice.
All development and testing, all design, and then the third one you're saying hosting and maintenance, but I can offer the hosting because I've already got like a VPS that I just use for like my own private website. It doesn't anywhere near reach its bandwidth, so I'm happy to volunteer that.
Yeah, you can do that, but I've got literally hundreds of AWS servers. I mean, I host thousands of websites, so it would mean nothing to drop your stuff onto it. But either way, if you want to keep control of it, I'm fine either way. We do have quite powerful tools, rerouting tools, and analyzing tools that will make sure it never goes down. We basically broadcast everything across 16 different servers at all times, of course, all regions and multiple platforms. We do have quite sophisticated systems to deal with this stuff, and you're welcome to use as much of it as you want.
All right.
Chris, would it be possible for folks to sign in and adjust the website? You know, would people be able to have permissions to do that?
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. However you want.
Would you be doing it like in WordPress, or what were you thinking?
Again, I haven't got as far to choose the technology yet. I think we have to get some user journeys and use cases in place, and then that'll decide the technology. That kind of steers it that way. It most probably will be WordPress. It's the easiest one to maintain.
Yeah, I'm most familiar with WordPress, and so that would be my preference, but if you suggest something else, I'd be happy to learn that instead.
We'll see. I mean, WordPress is easy, isn't it? I think that would be the perfect choice.
I've been using WordPress for years, and it's really easy. And you know, you can update it, remove things, widgets, all that stuff is needed.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But this guy, Chris, I was just going to say, Chris sounds like somebody I could use some help with my own work over here, but that's a whole other separate outside issue.
Yeah, sure. I'm here to help whenever you need.
Excellent. Has everyone signed up to Trello?
Not yet.
No, I just learned about it.
If you haven't, I recommend going to Trello.com, Trello, and signing up. You can do it while we're in this meeting. It's very quick. And then
you
that
can
way
use Google Sign In to do it too, and just integrate it with the other Google apps, which is kind of convenient. Or if you're opposed to having your information shared that much with Google, the Google Sign In was like lickety split. It was awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I have my account. I've been using it for years. It's a great bit of software.
Okay.
Do we have to tell you what our IDs are, or can we find World Crypto Network in Trello?
Good question.
At the moment, it's Trello.com/World Crypto Network, and you can. I haven't set up any boards, so I just got the name. Is that your question, or did I misunderstand?
I think so.
Yeah, you can have an open board, or you can have a closed board. If it's closed, you have to be invited to it from the admin.
I think it's open. Oh no, it's private.
If open, it's.
I see.
I can make it open. I mean, we're not a closed source project, so.
Now, okay.
Yeah, I'll make it public.
Should I just use?
So, are there any questions about Trello or the website? Hearing none, I'd like to move on to point number 4, which is World Crypto Network proposal. Chris Ellis, did you write this?
Point number 4 is the proposal. Sorry, WCN. Yeah. Oh, that is what we just talked about.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, so we've done that.
So, kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah.
We did talk about time zones, some who can't make the town halls, Australia. Is there more on this topic?
Yeah, so, sorry, that was for this town hall. So, yeah, the other comment we got was, do we want to make this show more flexible, this actual event more flexible, or do we want to keep it at the same time zone? Because some people were saying that. And also, the other thing is something weird happens with YouTube events, in that it doesn't come up in people's streams on YouTube, apparently. So people missed it last week, because people were like, oh, I didn't even know this was on. And so I don't know why, because I was like pumping it on Twitter and stuff.
Well, we've got a lot of participation today, and it seems like this time works for a lot of us. I'm curious how many people would want to be engaged if we change the time.
Yeah, me too.
I find it difficult on YouTube to find which of the channels I've subscribed to are currently doing something live, which I think is a problem people may have had finding the last town hall event.
And that's something that could be solved by keeping it regular, right? If we could just announce that this is happening at a regular time,
Oh
people
yeah.
who don't get an announcement will be able to just know that this is when it happens.
Yeah, in my experience, when you post the live event in advance and you use just Google Plus or YouTube or even just Twitter to market it, there isn't much of a response. But unless you're doing that just before you go live, like send out a tweet before you go live, then that works. But what seems to work best that has people putting it on their calendar and getting automated reminders is doing it, putting out alerts on Facebook. Now I know a lot of the audience may not be on Facebook, but maybe not a lot, but some of the participants are choosing not to use Facebook. But I found Facebook groups and events on those groups to be like hugely good at funneling traffic in advance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it'd be good to use Google Plus events, and also this kind of ties into point number 1 as well. Something we could maybe do with the World Crypto Network account could actually put the schedule into Google Calendar, make that public, and then people could subscribe to the calendar.
Yes, that's a good idea. Do we have that already? Is there a World Crypto Network calendar? Oh, and hey, welcome Midas Marnie and Be Trippin. Welcome to the World Crypto Network Town Hall Hangout
Hello.
number 2.
Can I interject?
Please do.
Yes, the chair recognizes Midas Marnie.
I just updated our events calendar on our website, Midas Marnie, and that is a plugin for WordPress, and you can actually push that into Facebook, and you can push it into Twitter as well when anything is posted on the schedule there. And then, so what I did for the last 2 ones was I created the post in advance, right, for the show that's coming up. And then I marketed that particular show, and then after the fact, I posted the video there at that location. And I've had the most hits out of these last 2 shows than I've ever had. And it also posts onto something called the Timely Network. So I don't know if that interests you, but I just thought I'd throw it out there if it helps.
That is very interesting. What is the plugin called?
Timely. Time, and then it's .ly.
I see. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Sounds like would be a nice plugin to have on the website, perhaps. Whenever someone's going live, it could be blasted out to the World Crypto Network's Facebook page and Google+.
It's got a beautiful poster board. If you go and look at it, midasmarnie.com, click on shows and events. It's great. Really pretty.
Yeah, I'm headed there now to check it out. Where is it on your website?
Shows and events.
Shows and events. Got it.
And then people can subscribe there too.
Okay.
I just need to dive out for a couple of minutes. I'll be back.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that is attractive.
It is.
Very
fun.
attractive schedule. Yeah, that's very nice.
Can we
Seems like
see it
would
on the
scale
screen?
nicely, too.
And you can put
Yeah.
tags and categories as well.
Here's what it looks like.
Make a category for all the different shows. So, for instance, Midas Marnie would be a category, and the other shows would be a category, right?
Like categories like speaking engagement or show, stuff like that.
Yeah. So for me, that's what they are, right? But for you guys, the category would actually be the show, and then the tags. If you look at the tags there. Like, for instance, if I click on law, it'll bring up only the ones where I was talking about law, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I think that could be pretty powerful.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Cool. Thanks for sharing. Oh, yeah, look. So you can select these tags. Just the YouTube ones. What does that do?
Well, they're pretty much all the YouTube
They're all
ones.
YouTube.
Live
Right.
ones. My live ones that weren't posted to YouTube won't be in there. but it's free. And then if you want some of the more, like for instance, to publish it to Facebook, I think the plugin itself is like $75 for that capability, or 37. Anyways, just go check it out.
Yeah, seems like a valuable product. Thanks for sharing that, Marnie.
Do you search that in the plugins, or do you have to get it off the website? I don't see it in the just plugin search.
It's called All-in-One Calendar if you're searching inside of the plugins.
Oh, okay, I see it. And how does it compare to some of these other calendars here, do you know? I
used to use the tribal events calendar. That is a hunk of shit. Do not use it. To be blatant. The reason behind that is because there is no, like, what I love about this is, like, it's a whole engine, right? It's a search engine as well, so that I can search for things, so that I can, like, I was talking to a lawyer yesterday, right? And so I like, oh, I did a couple of shows on law, and then I just filtered it for law and then sent him a link. I couldn't do any of that with events by tribal. It was just, it was a nightmare. And then it wouldn't work with my JavaScript, and it was just, so just stay away from that one.
Well, that's going to be very useful. That's going to be very useful for World Crypto Network. I just want to make sure that everyone is best served by this meeting by staying on topic to the agenda, and we are on the topic of time zones. Some people can't make it because they're from Australia. Have we resolved this issue? We're going to keep the meetings happening at this time, this day. Screw everyone else.
Well, I think for now, yes. I mean, unless we don't have a good alternative at the moment, because this is the one that suits most of the people most of the time. So I think this is a case to be utilitarian and say if this works for most people, but if we do get more people that want to be stakeholders that are from time zones that are outside of they feel that it's outside of their reach, then like I said in my email earlier, if anyone had any disagreements with this meeting going ahead in absentia of anyone else, then they could just say, actually, I'd rather be there because you're going to discuss something important. It's not as if these meetings aren't public, so any points that are raised, you can just catch up with them in the days following the meeting, and then just bring it up with one of us, and we can have another breakout session.
Any objections? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. I always wanted to do that. Torrents, moving on to the next topic. Torrents of shows. Who wants to start seeding? I do.
Let me just say there's a program that I use for my website that does that automatically. It's just another website. It's where is it? Maybe it was you know what? It was on the side of my website, and now I'm not even seeing the plugin that was there for it. Holy moly! I'll have to figure out what it was. It was Love My something or other, something like that. But I'm just realizing I did some updates, and that plugin is suddenly missing on my website right now. So, but anyway, long story short, there is a feature that will handle it and seed it for you automatically all the time. And I'll get that for you guys.
So one of the things that I wanted to do was put the torrent hash into the Bitcoin blockchain. So last week I put the git commit hash and the MP4 SHA-1 of our last episode of the town hall into the blockchain. I also gave it, the title World Crypto Network Town Hall Meeting, and I put the date and the YouTube link. So that is nice and permanent. Plus, we also read out the block height of the current Bitcoin block in the blockchain. So it proves, notarizes permanently in the Bitcoin blockchain that meeting took place at that time. So it'd be really nice if I could just add the torrent ID there, and then I believe from the torrent ID from the SHA, that's actually a link. And then you can use that to locate the torrent and start downloading.
I might be able to offer some bandwidth. However, the place where I'm staying is not mine, and it's not my internet connection. So I will. I'll need to talk to people about it, but I might be able to.
In qTorrent, you can actually say how much you want to seed it by. You can set your bandwidth requirements. Every little bit helps because they're only little chunks of data that we need. So you could just set it to 56K or something, and just say I want my ratio to be 0.5. So it'll apply for every download. You've got half an upload.
How large are the video files?
Not small. They are like hundreds of megs each.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to put the whole lot up there. I was thinking we could either do it as individual shows, or we could do like 1 month segments. So like just put all of January's up in one go, put all of February's up in one go, like a box set. You know, he could download them.
Yeah.
No,
No?
I don't think. I mean, the more individualized, the better. If people are able to look up, you know, I'm interested in the Bitcoin group, and I only want to see the Bitcoin group. I don't want to see the World Crypto Network for all of January. If I just want to see, you know, just Bits Be Trippin or something like that.
Oh,
So
do you-
yeah, the more individualized, the better.
like each individual show has its own torrent.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have something ridiculous like 200 meg up here and like 1 gig down. So I don't mind hosting a phone server in the corner.
Genius.
No problem with that. We got some ridiculous satellite internet in here. It's nuts.
That is wicked. Yeah, no, that would be wicked. Really
All right, you guys, I figured out that website. It's bitlove.org, and that's a website that automatically turns your podcast into torrents and seeds it. And I just linked it.
Very good. Thank you. That's in the chat, I
You're
see.
welcome.
Very good.
Yes, I just put it up there for you guys, and I just realized that I did something to mine, and I've got to fix mine on my website. I don't even remember doing that.
Okay, who can we have someone who can take charge? Someone who wants to be in charge of the seeding. So if you've got questions like, how do I seed a show, or I want to start seeding the Minus Marty show, so who's going to take charge of that issue? Someone knowledgeable, reliable, who's done this before.
Won't be me
Volunteers.
because I have no idea what you guys are talking about right now.
Oh, we're talking about putting copies of the shows on our computers and allowing anyone in the world to download them from our computers, basically.
Rather than YouTube?
Using BitTorrent. Well, we want to be as distributed as we can, and the problem with YouTube is they have been known to shut channels down before, and then you have
Makes
no
us
access.
drone-proof.
Right. Well, you know, I can say, you know, I don't know how many people it would be, but I'll be happy to help people set up BitLove because I've done it before. But like I said, with BitLove, you don't have to worry about seeding it from your own computer. I mean, obviously you can do that, but BitLove handles all of that itself. Just when you create your account and give them your RSS feed, they take it off your RSS feed, they turn it into a torrent, and they seed it out. So,
okay, very good. Well, I'm going to try BitLove, and if I have questions, I can ask you, Jan?
Yes, you can. I'll happily help you, Derek.
Thank you.
For explaining that, I get it better
And I'll
now.
even help Tom and Will, too.
All right, how generous. Okay, that issue is resolved. Very good. Points to discuss this week. Now the chair recognizes Bits Be Trippin, who would like to raise the following. 1, mini commercial. That idea we sort of talked about at the beginning of the show, but I'd like to hear more from you, Bits Be Trippin.
Well, we've said before, I think in one of the very first mentions of the World Crypto Network, that we would be more than happy to put together kind of a montage or some kind of a commercial, putting our production stuff against it, coming up with, maybe a 3D graphic, something that looks nice and pops, and, just leveraging our resources to help the greater, channel. And we could always embed that as part of one of our episodes and just kind of get a link out to it and just get more awareness to it. I mean, we just broke 3,700 subscribers now.
Yeah.
We got about 300,050 views. I mean, we got a pretty good niche, I think, when that comes to the mining and hardware side of crypto. And it's just we're coming at it at a different angle, I think, than a lot of other folks, and just getting our audience that seems to be very on the creation standpoint of the all the various blockchains. I mean, we cover across the board for all the altcoins, Bitcoin, everything. So just using our production value that we bring to the table and just helping everybody out. So we were looking at maybe if somebody wanted to create an outline or something they'd like to see in like a commercial of the different shows, and we could have it do a few different creative examples, maybe we can post those somewhere just to the just to the group, so the group can kind of view and kind of vote on, hey, we like that production or we like this production, and then just come together and make a nice little maybe entrance thing for the show. When people go to the show the first time, you get that kind of trailer of what the show's about. Maybe we can do a mashup. I mean, I'm waiting for actually a few of the other guys to come here, and just kind of sit in the background, answer any questions and stuff. But I mean, for those folks that don't really know who we are, if you've ever seen our channel or not, I mean, a lot of us have our own kind of specialty and discipline, and I have 2 production guys essentially that do this for a living, building a lot of media-based stuff. One of them worked for Cool Fire Media, which makes Anheuser-Busch commercials, everything that you see on TV. So I mean, these are like the brainchild that builds that kind of stuff. So I mean, they can. They're excited about crypto. I've gotten them all into it. I came from the crypto side of it, and so kind of got them pulled into it, and they've helped me put together the Be Trippin channel. So we're just looking at, how can we help everybody else and kind of just grow the awareness of it. So, I mean, that's what we were looking at. How can we help?
Well, how can we help you? How can we as individuals? You talk about making a mashup. Is that something where I could, say, hand over a particularly good clip from one of my shows and say, like, hey, this was a great clip. I would love for this to be included in the mashup. Be Trippin. Could you, include this? Would that help you?
Yeah, I mean, just from a source, because I mean, we could always source what we can from YouTube, but since it down samples the clips, the raw image of it, it would be good. Or if it's something that you wanted to record separately and off, and we get a higher quality of it, we pull all that into Adobe Premiere and make sure that we have the highest quality, image that we're posting up. We just recently switched out our cameras. Now we have a 4K camera, so we're looking to start. We thought it would be kind of cool to start getting some really high close-ups, some of the hardware in 4K, so it allows people to go down there, select 4K, and have, there's not a lot of content out right now on YouTube that's doing anything in 4K. So we're just thinking that's another, we're on the fringe of, this technology. When I have the fringing cameras and just take, really nice high-quality shots, get people like that kind of like sweeping look and the discussion, and that's just one of those things. Another thing. So if we can get, just a high quality clip of something you guys would want to, like, hey, can you include this little piece or whatever, then we can kind of put that together and, have this nice high level production, clip
like
to start with.
Summary of each one of our shows. So, like, for instance, I would do a video clip of what my show's about and what I cover in my show. Is that what you're talking about? That's what you want from us?
No, just I mean, the mashup would be probably maybe a minute and a half, so it would kind of sweep through everything. I don't know if anybody was able to take a look at our Chicago trailer that we put together for the Chicago Bitcoin conference. We threw some music. I don't know if anybody was able to watch that or anything, but I mean, yeah, I'll link it, and you guys can take a look at kind of what we're talking about. We'd throw some music to it, and then just. It gives you the, there's some pretty funny comments on the bottom of it because they're all like, "Holy crap, dude, you just made a conference look awesome." But I mean, it's that's kind of the point of it, right? We're bringing it. I mean, my background's marketing and business, and I try to leverage that experience along with some of our production experience, and just try to take this stuff to the next level. So here, let me get this link to you. That way you can take a look at it. Here, I'll link this.
We actually still here. Everyone holding up?
Yeah, it's all good.
Welcome to man, I saw your product. What? Be Trippin. First, we have this new piece decided to put together for this new set. Didn't have that overhang that would fit on some of the other cases that we had built. And
overlapping. Yeah. There you go.
That was very cool. How would that? How do you imagine that translating into something that features each of our shows, like featuring the logos or the personalities behind the shows?
Animate objects rather than like live.
I think I can imagine what that would look like, because the BBC and news networks here have got like 60-second, like fast cut, jump cut, like all that talent, as they call them, the presenters, they call them talent. And then they like feature like them, like, you know, well, we're talent, you know, we are the talent. And then you would just cut to each of us like on air, yeah. So we could just like go through our footage on air, and then we could just like hypercut between them and put it some music. I totally get how that would look.
He was saying that he wanted higher quality than, so we would maybe stage it and like record it with something like ScreenFlow, which is higher quality than like Google stuff, so that it was staged as if we were doing it, but at a higher quality.
I'd already be thinking of like the stuff that Mad Bitcoins did with Jason King when he came off his run. He's holding out the microphone. You could have that clip in there. You just want to tell a story about how we're mobile and we're out there, and like, and yeah, we've got philosophical dialogue, and then we've got like call-in shows, technical know-how, like walkthroughs. You know, yeah, I totally get it. Also, some mining stuff. We can get some good mining stuff going on.
It's like categories, right? So it's telling a story of what the channel does. So all the different angles of the channel. So it's kind of like, you know, we'd throw up maybe a screen that shows, you know, some of the discussion, political or, you know, monetary or any of those discussion points. And it kind of throws that up, and then it throws maybe a few clips of just, 3 seconds of somebody talking about something, and then the channel name is below. And it kind of sweeps through those, showing the different paradigms that is covered in this, to show that, hey, this is, you may find a niche in here that you like, or you may, you know, find something that you never knew existed, and that's really just kind of get that exposure out there, but done in a presentation that they're like, hey man, these guys ain't messing around. They're, you know, putting a lot of production towards this, and what's next? You know, that's what we're always trying to do. Why we're throwing a lot of different graphics. We reached out to Nero and said, hey, we'd like to use this song. It's used that's a popular song right now that's being used in the entrance for Shark Week, which is for Discovery, right? So we reached out to him and said, hey, you know, can you take a look at our channel? We want to use your song. Is there any kind of things that we want to do? You know, I don't want YouTube to pull it off. We won't monetize it, but we want to use this because it's a popular song. It's catchy. You know, it's kind of setting the tone for, are you ready? Something's changing, right? So we wanted to use that piece. So we got the okay from them. They said, hey, you guys put a nice piece at the end to say, hey, buy our stuff. You're cool. But, you know, we'll reach out and look, find something that meets the tone, and then just kind of, you know, flow it through, and then that's maybe something that we switch out every 3 to 6 months, you know, to keep it fresh, because that seems to be, you know, what folks like, quite honestly, on YouTube and that kind of thing, is something that's changing, graphics that are changing, topics that are changing, and it seems to keep their interest pretty well. So that's the one part that we wanted to bring up, is like, how can we help get exposure to everybody? And, you know, that brings exposure to us too. I mean, and I think it just, you know, adds that production value.
What's your time frame like on this video? Is that something you're looking for us to maybe contribute, like 5 minutes of video by next week? Like, hey, Bits, I'm going to give you 5 minutes from me that you can cut up any way you like.
Yeah, I mean, and it isn't that you have to, like, if you point us to a clip and you've actually saved it up there as, you know, 1080p, we could probably clip that and it won't be too bad. And we'll look at the lowest common denominator on the video, and if it's 720, then we'll upload it to 720. I mean, it doesn't have to be, you know, crazy stuff. But if you say, hey, you know, there's this one point in this one show that I really wanted it, that if you were to take any clip from me, I really like this, and you could just send us that link or the URL, we can look at the quality and say, yeah, we were able to pull it off of YouTube, it looks good. Or we could say, hey, well, if you really want that, then let's go ahead and redo it again. You know what I mean? So if you find kind of a clip that gets the point of your show, if there's one episode that you've had that really spells out, like, here's why I'm here, here's why I'm trying to advocate, or, you know, why I produce the show. Send us that URL, in the bitsbetrippin@gmail.com. We'll take a look at it, and then because we can put together something pretty quick, that we won't post out on the web yet. That way, people can take a look of how we matched it up or whatever. And that could be whenever. I mean, it's really at your guys' pace. We're putting a video out on Saturday right now. Episode 20 comes out on Saturday, and we're going into 21 right after it. So I mean, this could be between those two.
Yeah, well, I don't see any reason why we should wait. We don't get any extra
Yeah.
benefit from waiting. So is this something that everyone can commit to finding some video, email it to bitsbetrippin@gmail.com by next week, the Thursday?
Can I interject something here? I noticed you guys wanted to use Trello, but just to let you know, I have a full corporate account of Podio, and I'm on one of the world-leading Podio preferred partners, and I know exactly how to build it. And we can't do nearly as much stuff with Trello as we can do with Podio. Just to let you guys know.
I was suggesting that we use whatever we feel most comfortable using. So I think we should start out by using both and see where people tend to gravitate. So that's a very kind offer, and I think we should take you up on that and try it out.
Okay, because like for instance with this thing, I can make a workspace right now for Bits Be Trippin', invite them into that, and then we can upload the videos right into there, because email is just a freaking nightmare, to be honest. Especially, I build these out for like, EvoFam. We've got 200 users and things like that. I know how to do this stuff. I think that I could make our lives a heck of a lot easier.
All for that.
Yeah, I think that sounds great.
Can you put your email address? Do we have a list of everybody's email addresses, and I can invite them in there?
Right, so yeah, we said earlier that we do, but we weren't sure if everyone was happy sharing that out publicly. So I'm going to ask everyone to.
And then, I'm busy. My dog's gone crazy. Yeah, just put it in here, and I'll invite you in.
Got it.
Okay, thank you for that offer, Marnie. The question on the table is, can everyone commit to submitting a video to bitsbetrippin@gmail.com by Thursday of next week?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be a point person on that. So I nominate myself to ask you all next week, how's that going? And then I'll be there to help you if you need help.
You know why I think this is really good as well is that it's going to start making us look like we know what we're doing. We're going to look really professional, and it's going to incentivize members of the audience that we're trying to appeal to get their own shows on the network. So they'll be like, oh shit, someone can kind of like market me like that. And if we're like producing more of these, like freshening them out, I think that would be a great value add. So I think we should definitely get on top of that, right away. And start making, submitting our videos.
Hear, hear. Moving on to point 3 under Bits Be Trippin'. Any specific topics WCN would like to see from Bits Be Trippin'?
If you wanted to upload your episodes or make special episodes or a trailer for your show or anything you wanted to do to add to the network, we could add you in as well.
Well, we have lots of, we make most of the episodes go down to probably 9 minutes, and I probably have a 2 terabyte hard drive of video. Just the builds, all the stuff, and there has been some folks asking, hey, do you have just a behind the scenes or any of that kind of stuff? And I think we've talked about that before, of maybe just having like the raw video kind of, the outtakes, as I would call it, because most, all of our stuff is sound produced, so we record everything, we script it, and then I go into a sound studio and then record it, right? So it's all overlaid and put together. Nothing is live action at all with it. It's all produced. And we've talked about maybe going into something that's live, doing a live build or something like that, but with the way cryptos kind of went and altcoins and all that kind of, on the mining aspect, it kind of put a kibosh to some of that. But maybe some of the stuff that people wanted to see, the long builds and stuff, we could probably upload there. I mean, most of our stuff's been very hardware centric. We're kind of branching after the Chicago conference that we went to. We were kind of branching into more of the software side of it too, because that's really kind of where the I guess the largest growth is at when it comes to people looking into the crypto. If they're not looking at purely the money or monetary aspect of it, they're looking at what are the capabilities and features that are being built on top of that blockchain. And that was pretty much the whole entire theme when we were in Chicago at the Bitcoin conference. Wasn't about the technology. I think people are starting to get that part of it, but they want to see what kind of features are going to come from that, and not just wallet technology or any of that. They wanted to see what's this new information storage type of stuff that we can do with it. What's the digital contracts type of stuff of it. It's the features that are going to be leveraged on top of it. So we started looking and talking with some of the people that were there and just saying, well, maybe we can start to present technically, here's why somebody would want to go out and either buy into that company or try a beta with them or any of that kind of stuff. So we're getting more into the software side of it. So if there's any kind of feature or hardware or anything that you guys think, hey man, you guys need to review this or do that, I mean, we're open to suggestions on that. I mean, we have contacts with AMD directly. We've worked with them on some stuff. Most of the large vendors, short of Butterfly Labs, which is hilarious because they are within 200 miles of our location and they will not be with us. So if that tells you anything, that reinforces their situation. I don't know what does, because I mean, we've seen them in Chicago and we're like, hey, we're like 200 miles away from you guys. How about we come out and do like something for the show? We got a lot of subscribers that are very centric to your hardware, and they're like, yeah, we'll have to get back with you. It's just hilarious.
Probably because they don't want you to see stuff, right? Like,
evidently, yeah, but it's pretty funny. I think it's Spoodles, the Israeli company, was like, hey man, we'll pay for you guys to come out to Israel. I'm like, yeah, no, I'll pass on that right now, buddy. But they're supposed to send us some video of their place. KNC also made a really nice offer to where we'd hire a photographer to go out there and videotape their record their facility, how they make things, and kind of put together, hey, they're a legit company, they're working with ASIC vendors, that kind of stuff. But again, most of our stuff's been very hardware in the creation of that, and we're trying to branch a little out into letting people understand, what are the capabilities on the software side and what features, because that's where the discussion's going to start to go to. You can see that now as people have legitimately and made large institution investment into Bitcoin, they're wanting to build features on top of it, right? So it's kind of where's that going, and that's where the real kind of focus, at least we're seeing, is. I mean, I don't know if your guys' opinion are that too.
You're asking if we're seeing interest headed in the direction of technologies built on top of the blockchain, like features?
Correct. Just anything that comes out. I mean,
yeah.
On your mind of what or what you'd like to see and any of that kind of stuff. I mean, it's there seems to be a lot of special interest and a lot of the folks that are investing, the big VC capital. That's the everything that they were. I mean, the VC panel at Chicago was all about that. It's like, I have money, I want to invest in this, I believe in it, it's brilliant. We've seen a lot of stuff on the internet. We have seen the application of that work in front of us, and we get it. Where can this go? And and that's where that investment's going now. And you have between Ethereum and all the other applications that are building, not just the movement between two parties, of the bits, and just making sure that you can make a secure transaction between 2 points. It's a lot more than that, and we're trying to kind of bust that open and expose that of saying, hey, here's some companies and here's what they're bringing to the table, type of stuff. I didn't know if you guys had any.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very interested in the state transition system that Vitalik is proposing, and I think that maybe someone might end up doing it better, and maybe not, maybe getting just the right amount of funding, and that's an idea that I put forward, this kind of merging of a Git repository with a blockchain, so that you can prove that you did you know that you did some work. You can prove your actual work. I think MadeSafe are also thinking with their proof of resources something very similarly aligned. So yeah, that's something.
Notary chains as well. Same
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah, yeah, I'm very interested in all of that. And I'm also interested in, you know, we had this task at Feathercoin as well, which was turning mining into a vocation so that it doesn't just become this sort of rat race for profit and, you know, everyone chases the money and then they switch the miners off as soon as it doesn't look like it's going to work out. It should be something that people do as a hobby, because you're not going to, you know, it's like going to war with a bunch of mercenaries. You don't want every soldier to be a mercenary because they're not going to put themselves into harm's way. You do need people that are there because they want to support the cause.
Here, here. Did you get feedback to your satisfaction, Bits Be Trippin'?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was more of a, you didn't need to necessarily come right out. It's just something to marinate on and think about and say, you know, I don't know how many people have looked at our channel and kind of how we do things and present, but, you know, you could take a few minutes, see some of the production stuff, and then say, hey, you know, I always had a question on how this one thing works, or, you know, you explain the features of it and if it works or not and how to get around it. I mean, that was kind of the original focus of the channel, was to educate people that were getting into the GPU side of it, because it was very kind of convoluted. You had to do a lot of forum reading, and it wasn't something that was plug and play. Bottom line, you had to learn either Linux or any of that kind of stuff. So we try to simplify that in the beginning, and we try to make it cheaper for people to not make you know, expensive decisions that impacted it. And then we kind of evolved to more of it got more commercialized, a lot more ASICs and all that kind of stuff. So we kind of went towards explaining, you know, what works, what power, what's it going to cost you, that kind of stuff. And then now we're kind of more expanding into just explaining some of the features that are out there via software. I mean, our next episode is going to be on mobile wallets, which we're taking the Android and the iPhone wallets, both the blockchain wallet, and kind of doing a deep dive with folks, showing the screen, showing how things work, how to get it set up, all that kind of stuff. So that's more of a kind of a tutorial, which is a little different. But I mean, 90% of the people that come up to me are like, I like it, it's very interesting, I want to get into it, but I have no freaking clue on how. Do I download a wallet? What do I do? So we're going to kind of set the episode's tone up in such a way that it's more of a kind of an educational thing, saying, you know, you want Bitcoin, here's what you do, here's your phone, and then kind of walking people through it, you know, and then just what are the benefits, what do you not get with the wallets, and what are some of the features that we're suggesting back out to the community, and then try to get that dialogue and that feedback going, and then try to expose people that haven't really made the leap to try to download a wallet or any of that kind of stuff. But that's just kind of us going out of the fringe of the hardware and trying to get into the software side. So,
how are you looking at doing that? Are you going to do screencasts or have some sort of studio with an over-the-shoulder camera for like holding a device, or?
Kind of both. One, we have a few of the guys here are the developers, so that we have an actual hookup for the iPhone and the Android to be able to just screen capture the actual screen that's on live on the device. So we've captured some of the high quality images of just moving through the transitions of the screen, and then we have some kind of over the shoulder of us. Actually, when we were in Chicago, we purchased a few items in Chicago using Bitcoin, so we wanted to kind of show from that whole perspective of walking up and just purchasing it, and then actually walking the tenant that was actually trying to make the sell, because it was like they're like, hey, this is our first time we've used this, so don't mind us if we mess this up, type of thing.
Yeah.
But then they were like, oh wow, that was actually pretty easy, and it was just kind of just getting that comfortable, hey, this is actually pretty easy, and then seeing, you know, the device make the transfer, how quick it was, and then that I didn't have to give them any personal information and all that kind of stuff. You know, it was just the transaction was done, and with, you know, right there in that spot. But, you know, you get online and then explaining the difference between the two. The part of the end of the episode is, you know, the reasons why, you know, like places like Overstock, they need to ship you something, so they need your information. But there's some pretty powerful stuff coming out, and I don't know if some of you guys have been to some of the recent Bitcoin conferences, but Enterprise Rent-A-Car was up there. They were a very small part, but they had 2 people up there, and they're one of the larger companies that are looking on integrating it. And I mean, when you start seeing those kind of institutional companies, not just somebody that's a retailer like Dell or any of those, which are really nice and glad that they're accepting it, but when you start seeing an institution like a Enterprise Rent-A-Car accepting it, that's kind of I think is the pendulum when it starts to really shift to service-oriented companies, not somebody trying to sell something or normally as hardware or something.
Just going back to practicalities of doing stuff, I've got a Nexus 5 phone which I've just rooted and put Cyanogen Mod 11 on, and there is an app that lets you record a screencast, so that might be useful to you.
Yeah.
Well, this is good info, but I want to make sure we're staying on topic for the town hall. Congratulations, everyone. We have made it to the end of the show notes, so if there are any unresolved issues, I want to be respectful of everyone's time, make sure you're getting full value out of this. Are there any unresolved questions?
Well, I'm missing one person. I don't know who it is. I have Carter, Chris J, David Gelson, Derek Freeman, Jay Irvin, Nick H, Thomas Hunt, and Will Payman.
Yeah, you don't have me.
Who are you?
Chris. 1 second, I'll paste it.
Chris is new. He's come in and saved the day on the website. I do have 2 things.
Email address, Chris.
Yep, coming right up.
Thank you.
That's great. And what I was going to say, Derek, I can show you the screen share of the multi-sig wallet.
Oh yes, that's one thing that we haven't taken care of yet.
And the other thing I wanted to address, it's come to my mind as we were talking, is a lot of people have been saying to me in the chat room and also between shows, how do we sign up to stuff? So, like, we should have a page on our website where you can just send in your email and get involved or become part of this thing. A lot of people have approached me, actually, has said that, and a few people have mentioned it in the chat room whilst we've been on air.
To use Podio because we can do web forms and people can fill out a web form and it goes right inside of Podio.
Okay, that sounds good. Let's do that. All right, so I'll share my screen and show the. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
No.
Yep. Okay, multi-sig.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so what all of this is. Public information. This is the WCN host raw public keys on the GitHub, and people throughout the week since our last show were sending us their raw public keys. This is a regular Bitcoin address, but it's in hexadecimal and it's raw. So you're not used to seeing this, but this is what you need if you want to create a multi-signature wallet. So I've already pre-populated this as we were talking to save a bit of time. I've set up a 5 of 6, if nobody disagrees, of the following people that sent their keys in. So that will be, this is just for an experiment, okay? So I've called this WCN 5 of 6 Series A, just because over the next 7 days, we'll just put the QR code up on Twitter and we'll say, just send a few like spare change, just like a millibit or something like that. And then we can just have some fun and just, try just to work out the logistics of, because when you sign a transaction, you only need one person to broadcast it to the Bitcoin network. You don't all have to do that, but there is you have to pass around a text file in an email, which might get a bit cumbersome, or we could try doing it on Google Drive or something, or something like that. So we've got Will Pangman, whose address starts with 12x99. We've got Theo Goodman that starts with 13CR, Fra Lewis, 113F, Pi Rebel. Oh yeah, Nick, I need to just double check that this is still your address, 12xSP. And then my one, and then David Gilson. So those are the 6 keys that I've been sent so far. Oh, Derek, do I have yours?
Where can you find the information to do this?
Yes, you have my address.
Oh, damn it. Sorry about that. I do have it, but I don't have it on me. So do you want me to go do that? Let me just go do that.
Yeah, if you would, I think it'll save more time to take care of it now than to create another one later.
I agree.
Where do I find out how to do this, guys?
Right. Yes. So
in the last episode of the town hall, Chris Ellis does a beautiful explanation where he basically says.
Able to watch that?
You don't have to watch the whole thing. I'm gonna recap it for you. But if you want to see the reference, that's where you can find it. But if you download the latest Armory wallet, then you can double-click on your Bitcoin address. You'll want to go into user advanced. That's a feature at the top so that you're seeing like the advanced view, not the standard view. And then when you
That's okay, yeah.
and then when you right-click on your Bitcoin address, there will be an option in the drop-down that says show raw public key hex in parentheses. And if you just click on that, a window will pop up with one of these hex codes. And that's what you copy and paste and send to Chris.
Yeah, there's also a video that I can send you on Vimeo from the actual company. Yeah. So I've added yours, Derek. Let me just pull that up.
Is this something we're going to want to do in the future?
Yeah.
So this is a proposal. Yeah. This is so that we can just test it out. So this is now a 6 of 7, which is the maximum that you can do. So let me just change that. Because then we've all got to like somehow work out where we're going to send the coins afterwards, right? So that could be fun. But initially we should just initially what we should do is just put our own coins into here and not ask the members of the public. Once we've kind of tested that out, we can then start to have some fun on Twitter and people can send in money and we can donate it to some cause. Okay, so I've got Derek J, David Gilson, Chris Ellis, Pi Rebel, Fra Lewis, Theo Goodman, Will Pangman, and it's set as a 6 of 7, so only 6 of these people actually need to agree. Does everyone find that acceptable?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so now what I do is I go save lockbox. I say yes, I am sure, and then it gives me this copy to clipboard, and then what I will do is I will then send that out to you all on an email. And then all you've got to do is go to your Armory, click Lockbox, and then import. And then you can import that, and then you've got that wallet. Now let me just see if I can get up. Let me just put that in a text document.
Do we need to bring our wallets online to access that lockbox?
No, you do not. So the beauty of it is that only one of us has to have the full blockchain, and that's the wonderful technology that we're using. So let me just get the address up, and I'll pull that up in blockchain.info so we get the QR code.
How many of us do have a copy of the full blockchain?
I do.
I do.
All right, very good. Looks like we're in good shape.
Mm-hmm. We're
And I
distributed.
didn't send you guys one last week. I'll do my best if you guys need more on that, or we're good.
So what?
Say that again.
Please.
Oh, I was just saying I did not get that done last week. I did get Chris's emails. I was very busy. So if you guys still need more help and numbers on that, I'll send off on that. But what I also wanted to say is, since talking to Tom and Chris and you, Derek, and I think Will last time, I still didn't come up with anything brilliant for a show idea just dedicated to Bitcoin. So, in the meantime, and we still have the Coin Alive website and all of that stuff. It probably needs a month or two updating. But, if you guys need any help setting up equipment recommendations, things like that, I've run my own shows for years. I've gone through all of the crud and crap and stuff. So, I'd be happy to help any of you guys with that, and then maybe, figure out something more specific in the future.
Have we figured out how we're going to make money yet?
Right, so that we can talk about that because Tom also raised that with me after last week's show. So just before we do, this is the copy. This is the public key of the multi-signature wallet for all those people I just mentioned. So if anyone wants to just send a millibit or something to this, then we can practice over the next 24 hours. Please don't send too much money to it because it's the first time that we've actually tried this out.
We can copy it.
Yeah, well, you can just scan in the QR code, or I can just copy paste it into the chat room. There you go. And yeah, so this is our first multi-sig wallet, and this is what I'm suggesting we do as part of the whole leadership strategy, where members of the audience can actually donate to specific projects by small teams of people. So small teams of people will go off and now make the website, and another small team of people will go off and now do another project. And so it's going to be like an iterative, very, very kind of millimetrical is Blake's term. Millimetrical progress, so you'll just be funding individual projects and individual teams. And over time, you know, this presents an opportunity for people to build trust with one another. Oh, we've already got a payment. That's very cool. $10? No. Oh, yeah. Wow. That's very generous. And yeah, so after a while, yeah, don't send in too much though. So more people are sending money in because I don't know, like it might break or something. Like, yeah. So, like we have done this. Nick and I have done this, but other than that, we haven't tested this technology yet. So yeah, thanks for the vote of confidence. So yeah, that's what the idea was, that it would be totally distributed, that we wouldn't be beholden to anyone, that you could fork the projects, you know. And what it would mean is like Derek and I could, you know, and other groups of us could end up like gravitating over time. Like it would be just a small group of us would just work really well together because we've done stuff in the past, and then maybe some other group of people have done really well together. And that's what this kind of technology can enable. It enables the building of trust and relationships at a distance. And I also think it's cool as well for our audience members, because what can happen is, you know, a couple of our audience members can hold us to account by having one of the keys as well, so that we don't get too tyrannical. But also, what if we had audience members that were in countries who did not have very nice governments, and you know, maybe they needed us to be part key holders of their wallet just in case they got raided or something. So that's all great. And yeah, so no, don't send in any more. That's more than enough. We've now got $14. That's very cool. This whole technology, really, I'm really into it. That's more than enough, and then over the next 24 hours we will decide on where we want to send it to, and that will be great. Now, was there anything else I wanted to say about that? Not sure. No, I think I'm good.
All right, well then with that, I want to thank everyone for their participation. Let's show that we are on block height 315660, and thank you everyone for participating. This has been a lot of fun. We've got some homework to do. Don't forget to get your videos or promos into bitsbetrippin@gmail.com, and some ideas for websites if you have them to Chris. Anything else that we forgot?
To which Chris? There's two Chris's.
Good point.
Chris J.
Chris J is the web guy.
Am I the web guy?
Well, I was actually talking about Chris, who I don't know your last name.
McCready.
Right.
Okay, so Chris M. So, well,
Chris
I see.
M.
I would think of you as Chris E. because your last name is Ellis. So.
Yeah, same.
Who's the web guy that we're supposed to send something to?
Chris M.
Chris
me.
McCready.
His email is, oh my god, talk to you later.
No, that's my one.
Oh, that's yours. Okay, then I emailed the wrong Chris earlier then, so can I get the other Chris's email?
Yeah, I'll put it into the chat now.
Thank you.
We should all just get private keys.
So Chris, Ellis, I already have your email, and we've already emailed back and forth, so ignore the email thinking it was the other Chris.
All right, well, I want to congratulate y'all. This is an amazing thing. I won't be the ruler and overlord of next week's meeting, so I want to thank you for putting up with my tyranny. And just one more to close on the blockchain here. We are still on height 315660, and this will conclude Town Hall meeting for the World Crypto Network #2. Peace, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace. Goodbye.